This was inevitable. The New York Jets have made a move that many fans were expecting and hoping for, and fits in very well with Aaron Glenn and Darren Mougey's regime. While on top of that, the Jets, with an open roster spot, made a very sneaky move for this team as well, which helps depth in an important position, and we're going to break it all down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Jets Digest. It's Chris and Matt here, and we're going to jump right into the video, as always. And guys, we ask in every video, but if you're part of that 70% that's not subscribed to Jets Digest, what are you doing, man? This is the place for all Jets content every single day. That you want Jets content, we got a new video for you guys. So make sure to subscribe, but let's jump into this. When Aaron Glenn and Darren Mougey jumped in as the new regime for the New York Jets, there was something very clear. There were going to be a lot of changes. The old guard was out, the new regime is in, and they wanted to make things their own way. They wanted to get younger. They wanted to really get rid of all the bad energy surrounding last season, and also improve the team in ways they see fit, which is mainly building a culture and getting players over, or getting people over players, as we know. And with that, we've seen a lot of moves get made. Now, some of them have been more expected. For instance, losing Aaron Rodgers was not the biggest shock in the world, especially by the time when Aaron Rodgers was officially gone. It was pretty obvious that he was going to leave. Losing Devontae Adams was no surprise at all. And a few other moves, like losing DJ Reed again, not a surprise. However, a lot of these moves have taken some Jets fans aback and been like, wow, did not see that coming. For instance, nobody really highlighted Brandon Stevens or Andre Sisco as guys the New York Jets would be going for in free agency, but here we are. That's the situation that we found ourselves in. And one move that also wasn't surprising was made today by the New York Jets, as the Jets have signed Michael Fletcher, a defensive end, and released kicker Greg Zuerlein. Matt, it's over. The Greg Zuerlein experience has come to its just joyful end for Jets fans, as Zuerlein was a successful kicker for the Jets in 2023, but outside of that, he had some struggles. Now, the Jets website themselves and writer Eric Allen talked about this, saying, Zuerlein, 6 feet tall, 187 pounds, was limited to 8 games with the Jets last season, converting 60%, 9 of 15 of his field goal attempts, and 93% of his extra points, 13 of 14. He was first placed on the injured reserve on October 30th before returning to the practice squad on December 20th, and was subsequently placed on the IR on December 28th. Now, on top of all that, what we also saw is Zuerlein appeared in 16 games in 2023, making 92.1% of his field goals attempted, which was 35 of 38, a very good season, while converting on 5 of 6 kicks from 50-plus yards. A veteran of 13 seasons, Zuerlein joined the Jets in 2022 and converted 30 of his 37 field goals. For his 13-year career, Zuerlein, a 6th-round pick of the Rams in 2012, has totaled 1,409 points while hitting 338 of his 411 field goals attempted at an 82.2% clip, including 49 of 87 from 50 yards out, which is 56%. So, Matt, at the time, at a few different occasions, we've seen Greg Zuerlein be one of the NFL's best kickers around. We saw that with the Rams. We saw him in 2023 with the Jets look absolutely excellent as he handed the Commanders Jaden Daniels. And now here we are. The Greg Zuerlein experience has come to a halt, and he really fell off last year at 37 years old. This is probably it for Greg the Leg.
Chris, Greg Zuerlein, over the course of his career, has had a successful career. He's had good seasons, but it's all in the past. He was a good kicker. He had good seasons. The mistakes that the New York Jets have made in the past with the last regime and pretty much everyone under Woody Johnson is they pay players for what they used to be, not what they are. And it's what players are today, which is what leads to actual wins today, and which is why the New York Jets have been famous for collecting old star players past their primes. We know once good kickers start to go, they go all the way. We just saw it with Justin Tucker, the best kicker in the history of the NFL, had one bad season and immediately was cut because the Ravens, who are a really good organization, understood that once these kickers start to go, they're done. So absolutely the correct move, cutting Greg Zuerlein. And just like you said, a lot of Jets fans, including us, were absolutely sick of him missing field goals last season, missing extra points. We said, we don't care if the new kicker comes in and misses as well. I'm just done to watching Greg Zuerlein do it. So very happy that he is no longer with the team. He was hurting us, and now Aaron Glenn and Darren Mougey will have the opportunity to put forward a new kicker who is going to fit in with Aaron Glenn's ideas. He's going to be a great personality in the locker room, and I can't wait to see who it's going to be.
Absolutely. And we do have ourselves a kicker battle that we'll start to go over in 1 second, but it really, the beginning of the end started in a rainy day in the fall in New Jersey when the Jets offense did absolutely nothing all game. It was a problem in itself, but Greg Zuerlein capped it all off in a 10-9 loss to the Denver Broncos where the Jets did not score a touchdown, and Zuerlein smoked what should have been an easy game winner for the Jets. Ever since that happened, the Jets ended up dropping an intense close game to the Buffalo Bills. And after that, obviously, Saleh got fired. So Greg Zuerlein missing that kick did have a huge part to play in the Jets season, just going in a downward spiral. Now, you can always plug and pick out moments and say, this is where things changed. But that really felt like the real kick to the groin for both Greg Zuerlein and Jets fans, because when you look back on the season, that's when things started to spiral. The Jets started the season 2-1. They drop a game, go 2-2, and then end up 2-3 to the Denver Broncos. So just an ugly way for the Jets season to have started. Obviously, we talked about this 8 months ago, but here we are back in this situation, and Greg Zuerlein is gone. Look, Greg was great when he was great. Nobody's doubting that. He was great with the Rams, was the best kicker in the league in 2017. There's no argument about how good Greg Zuerlein was, but as you just said, it doesn't matter what you were, it matters about what you are. And what Greg Zuerlein is right now is not an NFL-level kicker, or at least last season he was not, especially getting injured. So the Jets move forward with these stats right here are by none other than Anders Carlson. Carlson played 5 games for the Jets as their kicker after 2 in San Francisco. Carlson also was the kicker in 2023 for the Green Bay Packers before not making the team the next year around. So Carlson right now is on the Jets roster. He's someone who they will look at extensively. I mean, he's with the Jets, he went 9 for 11 on his extra points. I know he missed one early, and Jets fans all wanted to put our heads through a wall, myself included, obviously. He did make his 150-plus yard field goal with the Jets and went 8 for 10 on his field goal attempts with the Jets as well. So the numbers, they don't jump out at you at all. Again, you're finding a kicker on the market midseason. You're not going to find the world's greatest kicker, most likely. Again, kickers are very hard to predict. They're just an unpredictable group. And look, it's interesting. On top of that, you have Caden Davis. He's an interesting player to have. I mean, 5 years in the SEC, 3 at Texas A&M, the next 2 at Ole Miss. Went 45 for 45 on extra points in 2023. Went 57 for 59 in 2024. On field goals, he went 18 for 23 in 2023. And in 2024, he went 24 for 29. Those 24 made field goals were the most in the SEC in 2024 as well. So Caden Davis, interesting player. Anders Carlson, interesting player. We'll see what happens right now. Do you have any predictions on who you think is going to win this kicker battle that we got set up?
Yeah, I definitely don't think it's be Anders Carlson.
Same.
He has showed us in the NFL that he is not he's probably not gonna work out. Like you said, with kickers, you never know who's gonna make it and who isn't gonna make it. Unless you have an elite kicker. Any guy, they can bounce around and on their 4th team just figure it out of absolutely nowhere. And then 2 years later, just forget how to kick again. It's kind of crazy. But I just want to give Greg Zuerlein a little bit of that kick against the Denver Broncos was not by any means a chip shot. It was 50 yards in the rain. So that was not an absolute have to make it kick. We needed, that was actually the last kick. But I mean, if we had a real leader in the locker room other than Aaron Rodgers, he would have said, I need to get the team closer, not what he ended up saying, which was just not that. Everyone talks about how difficult it is to say something like that, but somehow Josh Allen is able to come out and take blame even when it's not his fault. Somehow Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson are able to come out and take blame when it's not their fault. But enough about Aaron Rodgers. I got faith in this kid out of Ole Miss. If I had to put money down right now, I would say I would put it down on him, but I would also leave the door open to the possibility of Aaron Glenn and Darren Mougey adding an additional kicker coming into training camp over the summer or right before the season starts to also compete and potentially take over that job. Neither one of these guys have a great claim to being the starting kicker, so the chapter is definitely not closed. The book's not written already. Who's going to be the kicker next year? We just got to bring it in, have a lively competition, and may the best man win.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Look, It would not be surprising to see someone new come in. Caden Davis was brought in by this current regime. Carlson was not. Also, again, Carlson has not really shown good enough stuff at the NFL level that the Jets are going to lock in on him. I would guess right now, out of those two guys, I'd go with Caden Davis as well. Just seems like it makes more sense go with a rookie who might be able to figure it out, because then you might be able to solve your kicker problem for a decade, because sometimes that happens. I mean, we've seen guys do that a lot. We've seen guys solve a problem 10 years into their career, then end up switching teams, and they work out for their next team really well also. Guys like Matt Prater going from the Cardinals to the Lions, stuff like that. We've seen Adam Vinatieri go from the Patriots to the Colts. That worked until, Vinatieri became a literal senior citizen. The Fast and the Furious is currently outside my apartment building, which is great. I'll make sure to tell Vin Diesel what's up. But also, Matt, some fun news is that the Jets signed Michael Fletcher, who is a defensive end, giving more depth to that position. And as mentioned by Eric Allen, sorry, wrong thing. Fletcher, 6'6", 260 pounds, not the same size as Greg Zuerlein, played in 21 games for Michigan State from 2020 to 2022, totaling 31 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, and 3 sacks. He then transferred to Appalachian State, registering 4.5 sacks and 21 tackles during the 2023 season. Look, he started 8 games at defensive end for the Mountaineers last season, tallying 4 sacks and 19 tackles. So, interesting player. Yes, I said Appalachian State, not Appalachian State. I knew I screwed it up when I said it, Matt. I saw you laughing. But interesting player to add to the team. Rookie, just another depth piece. Likely could end up on the practice squad for the New York Jets going forwards. 6 years in college is never exactly the sign you want to see out of an NFL player. So, any thoughts?
SEC and Big Ten, that's where you find the biggest, most physical defensive ends in college football. So very good process going to a school like Michigan State to look for a depth piece like this guy.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, outside of that, we could sit here and say, well, he's done this, he's done that. Combined for 8.5 sacks at Appalachian. That's great. Probably not going to see him on the field too much. But who knows? It's exciting that the Jets still add another defensive piece, because you never know what's going to work out. And as you said, Big Ten's a good spot to look. Guys, what do you think about these moves? Are you happy? Are you sad? If you're sad, why? Do you have a personal vendetta against just something here? Because there's no reason to be bummed out about this, because Greg Zuerlein's time had come. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, and go Jets.